You guys know I love Chainsaw Man. Video by Justin Trinity. Don't wait until it's too late. Reze Chainsaw Man movie. And this is something like, bro, honestly, I always think about Denji and Reze because they would have been the best ship in Chainsaw Man. It's just so disappointing what happened. Like, I wish Fujimoto just made a part 3 and he didn't have that horrible part 2 ending. I wish he made a part 3 where just Reze gets resurrected somehow. Um, yeah, how horrible.
Would you rather be the country mouse or
Gonna
the city mouse?
But what if there's another option?
I'm gonna be completely honest. I would choose the country mouse, man. I just want a simple, nice life.
What if the real freedom was never in choosing between cages, but instead in deciding not to be a mouse at all? Or what if
Ooh, yeah, I like that. We're getting real philosophical and deep this video.
you left the maze entirely? Like Reze, many of us are raised inside lives other people decided were right for
Oh yeah, for sure.
us. But we fail to realize their beliefs may actually be our cages. Which is why sometimes people struggle to change, not simply because they're weak, but because their old life had trained them to fear the new one. And
Yeah.
by the time they finally see what is possible, their window for change is already closing. And that's what makes Reze's story so tragic.
Bro, I hated Makima for this.
Because beneath all of it, she reveals something deeper, which is how to break free.
I know a lot of people wanted Denji to end up with Asa Mitaka, but I never felt the shit, man. Reze was the best option for Denji.
And what happens when we wait until it's too
just look at Reze, bro. Look how good she looks right here.
late.
Yay! I'm excited. You agreed. It's a date.
I'm Justin Trinity, and welcome to Midnight Sanctuary,
Why, Fujimoto, why?
a home created for who we are and who we're becoming. Now let's continue. For better or for worse, the world around us is always shaping us.
Bro, I like how he's combining like anime with these real world concepts like society and expectations and, you know, just stories you tell yourself and all that.
Families, our friends, our experiences, the things we're taught to fear, accept, or even believe about ourselves. Over time, those influences don't just affect our choices. They can start to define the limits of who we think we're allowed to become.
For sure.
Reze was shaped the same way, only far more brutally.
There's a story mothers in the Soviet Union tell their children when they want to scare them. It's about a secret room found in an old munitions storehouse. One that's full of orphaned children.
Oh my god, the dub voice for this guy, I forget his name, Kishibe. Bro, the dub for Chainsaw Man is peak, or at least his voice, bro. Like, dang.
The wretches living there are locked away.
I watched Reze Arc in sub, of course, so I didn't even know the dub was this good.
Never seeing a sliver of sunlight. Their bodies used for military experiments. The life tortured out of them. Everyone thought it was a fairy tale, but the story faded eventually. The girl who lured Denji in.
Yeah, I'm sorry, man. When it comes to storytelling and like plot and character writing specifically, Fujimoto takes it over Akutami. Like, let's just be honest. Akutami is better when it comes to battles and fights, though.
Was one of the kids from that room.
She was broken down and rebuilt as a weapon for the state by people who didn't have her best interests at heart. And their gain came at the cost of a little girl who could have had the most beautiful life ahead of her. At the cost of someone who wanted to know peace instead of chaos. Which reminds me of a quote from Carl Jung. The world will ask you who you are. And if you don't know, the world will tell you. And through my personal experience, that's something I can confirm as true. As a child, I was taught that speaking up for myself would lead to punishment.
And look how this goes. Now he's speaking up on a YouTube level and he's creating like just good content, good content that analyzes Chainsaw Man and Jujutsu Kaisen.
Conditioned to believe that my voice had no say, and that shutting up was my most viable chance at avoiding confrontation. So for years after those experiences, I confused my silence with safety, when in reality, I was sacrificing the version of myself I'd be proud of for people who didn't care I was in pain. I didn't know any better.
The only reason it's ever really good to like abide by bad rules. Like let's say you have just a toxic family or something like that. You should only abide by their rules until you can truly like leave that system or leave that family behind. And usually that comes in the form of just finding your own way to just kind of make money so you can just move, or I guess it just depends for every person, but like I guess some people wait for their freedom, if that makes sense.
And neither did Reze. But it wasn't until her experiences with Denji that she began to see how truly distorted her life actually was. For the first time, Reze was able to imagine a life outside the one she'd been trapped within.
I've been thinking about you a lot. Like I said before, your situation's pretty strange.
While I essentially agree with that, I still think this scene specifically was fake. I don't think Reze was actually going to genuinely run away with Denji here. Or maybe she was. It's never been confirmed, but I'm assuming this was a lie.
If you quit your job, we can run away together. I'll be able to give you a happier life, I promise. And I'll protect you. Please.
This was the first time she saw an opportunity to escape
That's actually crazy though. Reze as the woman saying she's gonna protect Denji, not even in like no, like I'm actually proud of that in a weird way. I don't know how to explain it. It hits deep.
the only life she knew. But unfortunately, Denji was also trapped within
I guess it just really emphasizes that Reze liked Denji in a way.
a web of manipulation. A web that taught him to fear change and to mistake survival
Oh yeah, I noticed this like web thing. I assume this was like Denji getting caught in Reze's web, essentially.
with safety. And just like Reze and Denji, a lot of us
But I think some other people interpreted it as well in a way where like Reze also got caught in this trap because, you know, Makima eventually ended up, you know, just taking Reze's life and stuff. So it might actually kind of be like it might be like a double paradox in a way. I don't know how to explain it, but like I think it represents both Denji and Reze, essentially.
do the same. We trade guaranteed pain for uncertain happiness. We run away from the fear of change, not knowing that change is required for freedom. And we avoid the questions that might force us to confront what we already know.
Say, Denji, would you rather be the country mouse or the city mouse?
I want to be the city mouse, definitely.
You're joking.
Denji's crazy, bruh. I'm choosing the country mouse.
Being the country mouse is so much better. A peaceful life is where it's at.
Denji chooses the city mouse, a life with more pleasure, even if it comes with danger. Reze leans toward the country mouse, a quieter life,
Well, to be honest, Denji's always been crazy.
a peaceful one. And on the surface, those seem like the only two choices. But what if life was never as black and white as we were taught to believe? What if the real freedom was realizing that we never had to stay inside the maze at all? What if the life we were meant for was waiting on the other side of the fear we called safety?
Okay, class, who thinks they know the
Honestly, the Reze movie just goes to show that writing is more important than hype action. Like, I easily preferred the Reze movie over Infinity Castle, bro. Like, honestly. Now, if I was comparing Reze arc to a potential like Gojo versus Sukuna movie, even then I still might choose the Reze movie just due to its pure writing and overall themes.
answer?
The truth is, those answers are something we have to discover ourselves. And if you're watching this, then there's a good chance that your life was also not meant to fit neatly inside the options that were handed to you. Which also means the people around you may not understand the life you're trying to create. But the life you wish for and imagine won't reveal itself by accident. It appears when you are willing to question what you were taught and go searching for
Yeah, honestly, you gotta just be proactive and change things yourself. You can't just wait. Yeah, you can't just wait around.
something more.
We've got a genius.
They say you only live once. Nearly every single one of us has heard that. But why do so many people wait so
Ooh, the tragedy of delay. Like, that makes me think. it kind of makes me think of people who are like, "Oh, I need to wait until everything's perfect to start on this new project, this new business, this new endeavor."
Long to actually live? Is it because they fear being judged for wanting something more?
Yeah.
Is it because they're loyal to
Wait,
the is it because
uh,
they fear being
I low-key do not remember this in the movie. Wait, when did this? Why do I not remember this scene?
judged for wanting something more?
What the heck?
Is it because they're loyal to the illusion of certainty? Or is it because they keep telling themselves that they have time? What have you been telling
I hate you, Makima.
yourself? Because
Trust me, you have a lot to learn. Stuff you don't know I'll teach you everything. You should let me show you.
and sometimes the one who has to show you more is you. And that begins the moment your curiosity
Man, can we just have Reze show us more?
becomes stronger than comfort.
Oh
The
Lord.
moment you start going out of your way to do what you normally wouldn't do. Which is why sometimes I literally ask myself, what wouldn't I do? So I can challenge myself to move beyond the limits I've mistaken for reality. Because we don't know what we don't know until we go searching for more. And the longer we wait, the more normalized the cage becomes. The more we
Yeah.
postpone, the easier it becomes to confuse survival with living. And by the time many people finally admit that they were unhappy, they've
Yeah, a lot of people are they're like surviving and they aren't truly like living and feeling fulfilled, man.
already spent years being loyal to a life that was never really theirs. Leaving the maze doesn't begin with having every answer. It begins with questioning the walls you've normalized. It looks like committing yourself to things your fear told you not to try. With
Yeah, and a lot of it is people just want to stay in comfort. People naturally love comfort.
taking one step toward the life you truly want before certainty ever arrives. People don't need more time. They need to stop calling their cage a home. And once you finally break free, your life also stops being limited by the walls you used to mistake for reality. So don't wait until it's too late. Don't keep telling yourself that you have more time. Become someone who is willing to act before certainty ever arrives. Become someone you can respect. Become the person your fear tried to convince you was impossible. Because just like Reze, most people don't realize the value of time until after they've already spent it. Not until after they realize that they didn't just lose time, but also the life they never gave themselves permission to live.
Yeah.
Denji, I wonder why I didn't kill you the first time we met. You know, to be honest,
I hate you, Fujimoto. Go to hell, Fujimoto. What is wrong with you? Why? You could have at least like just made a part 2 ending where somehow Reze's resurrected, everything goes according to plan. Like just let Denji end up with Reze, man.